The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale, summarized audiobook version. The Quiet Power Within. In a world that often feels heavy with noise, pressure, and uncertainty, we sometimes forget the quiet force that shapes everything we experience: our thoughts. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale taught a truth both simple and profound. When you change your thoughts, you change your world. This is not about ignoring reality, but about meeting it with a new inner strength. A strength built from faith, peace, and the habit of positive thinking. Take a deep breath. Let each word remind you that you are not powerless. Inside you lives a calm power that, once awakened, can move mountains. The power of your own mind aligned with faith. As you listen to this audiobook, imagine that you're sitting beside a wise mentor, someone who believes deeply in your potential. Their voice is gentle, their message eternal. You are stronger than you think. Chapter 1. Believe in yourself. Everything begins here, belief. Before any dream becomes real, before any problem finds its solution, before any step toward peace, there must first be belief. Dr. Peale begins by reminding us that confidence is not arrogance. It is quiet faith in your own worth and in the guiding power of God or the universe. When you believe that you are capable, doors that were once invisible begin to appear. Story reflection. He tells the story of a businessman who had lost everything: his confidence, his energy, his direction. When Peale met him, the man said, "I'm finished. I've tried everything." Peale handed him a piece of paper and said, "Write down this sentence: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Read it every morning." The man hesitated, but did it. Within weeks, his posture changed, his decisions grew sharper, and his business and life turned around. What changed first? Not luck, not circumstance, his belief. The inner law of belief. Your world is nothing more than the reflection of your own inner thoughts. If you walk into a day expecting defeat, your mind will notice every reason to confirm it. But when you step forward expecting good, truly expecting it, your mind becomes alert to opportunity, support, and hidden blessings. To believe in yourself is not to deny your fears, but to speak louder than them. I have been given the ability to grow, to learn, to rise. Simple practice tonight. Before sleeping, whisper these lines: I am not alone. Strength flows through me. I am capable of great things. Repeat this for 1 week and you'll notice a shift. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, and choose differently. That is belief in action. Pause for reflection. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember a time when you succeeded at something you once doubted. Feel that memory as proof. You can do more than you think. Dr. Peale's lesson. Faith is not a feeling. It is a decision to trust in advance what will make sense only in hindsight. Closing thought. Chapter 1. The first victory is always within. When you believe in yourself, calmly, humbly, and faithfully, you activate the creative power that begins every miracle. Stand tall. Speak softly to your doubts. You have no power here. Then move forward, quietly, confidently, peacefully. Chapter 2. A peaceful mind generates power. True power does not come from tension, nor from struggle. It comes from peace, the quiet confidence that life unfolds as it should. Dr. Peale teaches that a peaceful mind is a powerhouse. When your thoughts are calm, your energy becomes focused. And when your energy is focused, you become unstoppable. The turbulent mind. Imagine your mind as a lake. When the surface is stormy, it reflects nothing clearly, not the sky, not the trees, not even itself. But when it becomes still, the reflection is perfect. So it is with our minds. When we are restless, angry, or afraid, our thoughts scatter. We lose focus. We make poor decisions. We drain our energy. Peale writes, open quote, "When the mind is at peace, the heart acts wisely." Close quote. It's not the noise of the world that steals our strength. It's the noise inside us. The source of inner calm. Dr. Peale offers a timeless truth. Open quote. Peace of mind is not something you search for. It's something you allow. Close quote. Peace begins when you release your grip on worry and place your trust in a higher order, whether you call that God, the universe, or the quiet intelligence of life itself. He tells of a woman who suffered from constant headaches and exhaustion. She worked tirelessly, always anxious about her responsibilities. Peale asked her one simple question. Open quote. Do you ever rest your mind? Close quote. She didn't understand at first, so he taught her to take 5 minutes each day to sit in silence, breathe deeply, and repeat softly. Open quote. Peace, be still. Close quote. Within weeks, her headaches faded, her sleep improved, and her energy returned. The world had not changed, but her inner world had. Practice. The stillness ritual. Open quote. The mind that rests renews. Close quote. Each evening before bed, 1. Sit quietly for 2 minutes. 2. Breathe slowly and say in your mind, I let go. 3. Picture all your worries melting away like snow under the morning sun. 4. Whisper, peace flows through me. This simple practice opens a channel to inner strength, the kind that doesn't depend on external success or approval. The law of inner energy, Peele explains that a peaceful mind does not mean a passive life. It means power under control. Open quote. Calmness is not weakness. It is strength restrained. Close quote. Think of the ocean. Beneath its waves lies tremendous power, yet it moves with rhythm, not chaos. So too can your energy flow steadily when guided by peace. People often rush, pushing themselves harder and harder, believing that urgency equals progress. But frantic action drains the spirit. Peaceful action, guided by calm confidence, creates lasting results. A story of quiet strength. A young teacher once came to Dr. Peele saying, open quote, my students don't respect me. I try to control them, but they just laugh. I shout to get attention, and nothing works. Close quote. Peele smiled gently and said, open quote, try silence. Close quote. The teacher was surprised, but the next day when his class grew loud, he stood silently at his desk and waited. Within seconds, the students grew curious, then quiet. The silence carried more authority than shouting ever could. Peace commands attention because it radiates a quiet certainty that others can feel. Affirmation for inner peace. Open quote, I am calm. I am centered. I move through life with quiet power. Nothing can disturb the peace that lives within me. Close quote. Repeat this slowly, letting the words become truth. Each repetition strengthens the habit of peace. Closing reflection, Chapter 2. Open quote. When you cultivate peace, you create a space where divine ideas can enter. Close quote. Your greatest creativity, intuition, and wisdom are born not from stress, but from serenity. Take a moment now, breathe in deeply, and feel that stillness expanding inside you. The peaceful power that needs no noise to prove its strength. Chapter 3. How to have constant energy, soft morning ambience, birdsong, slow piano, gentle breeze sound. Open quote. Each day begins as a blank page, filled not by what happens around you, but by the energy you bring to it. Some people wake up already weary, their minds heavy before their feet touch the ground. Others, though burdened with tasks and challenges, seem to move through the day with steady strength. What makes the difference? Dr. Peele tells us, the secret of constant energy is not in the body, it's in the mind. Close quote. The mind as an energy generator. Open quote. You do not have to be tired, Peele wrote. Life itself is energy. Close quote. The body is a marvelous machine, but it takes its cue from the thoughts that run through it. When your thoughts are fearful, your energy drains. When your thoughts are confident, your body feels lighter. We often say, I'm exhausted, but much of that exhaustion is emotional, not physical. It comes from conflict, resentment, and self-doubt, invisible leaks in our energy tank. Dr. Peele explains that when your mind is filled with faith, purpose, and peace, energy flows naturally, like electricity through a clear wire. But when your thoughts are filled with anxiety or bitterness, that flow is blocked. So the first step toward constant energy is not to do more, but to think better. Story: The Weary Salesman. A man once visited Peele's office, shoulders slumped, eyes dim. He said, open quote, I'm burned out, Reverend. I've lost my spark. Every morning, it feels like I'm dragging myself through mud. Close quote. Peele didn't tell him to rest or drink coffee. He asked, open quote, what thoughts fill your mind when you wake up? Close quote. The man paused. Open quote, I think about all the things that might go wrong. I think about the people who frustrate me. I think about how tired I am. Close quote. Peele smiled kindly. Open quote, then you are running on the wrong fuel. You can't fill your mind with fear and expect energy to come out. Close quote. He gave the man a daily exercise. Each morning, before getting out of bed, repeat open quote, today is God's gift. I will live it with strength. Close quote. Picture yourself full of light, not drained. Say out loud 3 words, I feel energy. After 3 weeks, the man returned, standing taller, eyes alive. Open quote, It's strange, he said. Nothing around me changed, but I feel alive again. Close quote. Shush! The energy of faith. Faith is not just spiritual, it is physical. When you truly believe that life is on your side, your heartbeat steadies, your muscles relax, and your body releases tension. Open quote. The human body, Peale wrote, responds to the mind as the orchestra to its conductor. Close quote. When the conductor lifts his baton calmly, the music flows. When he waves in panic, the sound becomes chaos. Your thoughts conduct your body's energy in exactly that way. So, learn to think in rhythms of calm confidence. Say to yourself, I have the strength for this day. I am filled with quiet vitality. Close quote. Faith is a renewable energy. It grows the more you trust it. The law of emotional rest. Dr. Peale introduced a beautiful idea. Mental rest is as important as physical rest. You can sleep for 8 hours and still wake up tired if you have carried your worries into bed with you. So each night, you must rest your mind, not just your body. He suggests this ritual. Sit for 5 minutes before bed. Write down your worries on paper. Whisper, I hand these to God now. Tear or fold the paper, symbolically letting go. You'll sleep lighter, because rest comes when you release, not when you resist. The circle of giving energy. Energy grows when shared. Have you noticed how one encouraging word can lift not only another person, but you as well? Peale once said, open quote, every act of kindness releases a burst of positive energy, both in the giver and the receiver. Close quote. He tells of a nurse who worked long hours yet never seemed tired. When asked her secret, she said, open quote, each patient I touch, I silently bless. Close quote. That small act kept her heart open and her energy abundant. Negativity contracts energy. Love expands it. When you give encouragement, compassion, or gratitude, your energy multiplies. So if you feel weary, give someone else hope. You'll feel your own spirit lift. Reflection exercise. The energy reset. Once a day, find a quiet space. Even 2 minutes will do. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Visualize light filling your body from head to toe. Say silently, open quote, peace is my fuel. Love is my strength. Energy flows through me freely. Close quote. This single act repeated daily renews the mind and restores clarity. The power of slow strength. Open quote. You do not need to rush to be powerful, Peale reminds us. Close quote. The oak tree does not hurry, yet it grows stronger every day. The river moves gently, yet shapes mountains. Real energy is not frantic. It is steady, patient, and calm. That is the energy of positive thinking, quiet, but unstoppable. Closing reflection, Chapter 3. Pause for a moment. Listen to your breath. Feel your heart quietly working. Proof that life moves within you without your command. That same intelligence that keeps your heart beating also renews your strength when you believe in it. Say softly, open quote, I am not tired. I am being renewed. My energy flows with peace. I trust the rhythm of life. Close quote. Soft piano fades, replaced by gentle wind and birdsong. And remember, as Dr. Peale wrote, open quote, those who think positively live powerfully. For in every calm thought lies the secret of endless energy. Close quote. Chapter 3. How to have constant energy. Soft, meditative tone. There are days when you wake up already tired. You haven't done a thing, yet your body feels heavy and your mind dull. You drag yourself through the day, wondering where your strength has gone. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale called this spiritual fatigue, a weariness not of the body, but of the soul. He believed that true energy flows from the inside out, and that we are not batteries waiting to run down, but channels for a divine source of power that never runs out. The source of endless strength. Peale told the story of a businessman who came to him exhausted. He had success, a fine home, and every comfort, but his life felt drained. Every morning he felt dread. His shoulders slumped. His eyes looked dull. Dr. Peale asked him to describe his day. From morning to night, the man spoke only of problems, complaints, deadlines, fears, mistakes. He was mentally rehearsing failure before it ever came. So Peale gave him a simple task. Open quote, for 1 week, he said, start every day with this line. I believe today will bring good things. And every time you feel weak, repeat, God's power is flowing through me now. Close quote. The man laughed at first. It sounded too simple, but he agreed. Within 3 days, his voice had changed. Within a week, his energy returned. And within a month, he said, open quote, I feel 10 years younger. and nothing in my life changed except my thoughts. The inner power supply. Peale compared the human spirit to an electric current. Electricity is invisible, yet it lights entire cities. The energy of faith and positivity works the same way. Unseen, but unstoppable. When we think negative, fearful thoughts, we cut that current. When we choose calm, confident, faithful thoughts, we restore the flow. He wrote, open quote, "The tired mind is more often drained by fear and worry than by work." Close quote. It's not work that exhausts you, it's resistance to it. Work becomes easy when it's filled with meaning, and meaning comes when you feel connected to something greater than yourself. So if your energy feels low, pause and reconnect. Close your eyes and whisper, open quote, "I am not alone. I draw from the infinite source." Close quote. Let your heart breathe. You'll feel it, that small, quiet current of strength waking inside you. How to renew energy through stillness. We live in a noisy world, full of rush and restlessness, but Dr. Peale taught that quiet is the secret to lasting energy. He said, open quote, "The human soul needs contact with silence, just as the body needs sleep." Close quote. Try this simple practice. Once or twice a day, stop whatever you're doing. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Take a deep breath and imagine peace flowing in, tension flowing out. Silently repeat, "God's peace fills me now." This small pause recharges more powerfully than a cup of coffee ever could, because it feeds not only your nerves, but your spirit. The habit of restful thinking. Some people rush even when they're sitting still. Their minds are crowded with deadlines and fears. But positive thinking doesn't mean constant activity. It means restful energy. You've seen calm people who seem never to tire, not because they work less, but because they think differently. They trust life. They let go of strain. To cultivate this, Peale suggested one daily affirmation. Open quote, "I have peace in my mind and power in my heart." Close quote. Say it when you wake up. Say it before bed. Let it sink into your consciousness like sunlight into water. Soon you'll notice. The more peaceful your thoughts become, the more powerful your actions feel. Final reflection, the energy of faith. Dr. Peale reminded us that faith is the ultimate energy source. When you truly believe you can do something, you activate spiritual energy within yourself. Faith transforms I can't into I can and I will. It replaces weariness with purpose. He wrote, open quote, "When you are filled with faith, you become a conduit of divine power. Energy surges through you, refreshing every cell of your being." Close quote. So when you feel weary, pause. Don't reach for another distraction. Instead, close your eyes and reconnect with the source of all strength. Breathe slowly and say, open quote, "God's energy is my energy. I am strong, calm, and renewed." Close quote. And slowly, gently, you'll find that the tiredness fades and peace takes its place. Chapter 4, Try Prayer Power, approx 15 to 20 minutes of gentle, meditative narration. Chapter 4, Try Prayer Power. Soft, slow music fades in, calm voice begins. When life feels uncertain, when the road ahead seems dim, most people turn to worry. But Norman Vincent Peale invites us to turn to something far greater, prayer power. Prayer, he said, is not begging or pleading. It is a form of quiet communication, a deep spiritual connection between your heart and the infinite source of wisdom. It is not about asking for miracles to happen for you, but awakening the miracle within you. A man with too much to carry. Dr. Peale once told the story of a man who came to him completely broken down. He was a successful executive, but the success had come at a price. He carried the weight of endless responsibilities, and the heavier it got, the more distant he felt from peace. When Peale asked if he prayed, the man smiled bitterly. "Pastor," he said, "I used to, but now I'm too tired to even pray." Peale gently replied, open quote, "That's exactly when prayer works best, when you're too tired to try anything else." Close quote. He invited the man to kneel, right there in his office. At first, the man hesitated. Then slowly he knelt. He said nothing. Only tears came. Peale placed a hand on his shoulder and whispered, open quote, "You don't need fancy words. Just say, 'God, I give this all to you.'" Close quote. They sat in silence for a long while, and then the man sighed, a deep, honest sigh, and said quietly, open quote, "I feel lighter," close quote. He walked out of that office renewed, not because his problems vanished, but because he finally stopped trying to carry them alone. The law of spiritual energy. Prayer, Dr. Peel taught, is the greatest energy generator in the world. It refills the mind, refreshes the heart, and realigns the soul. He compared it to plugging a lamp into electricity. The lamp itself has no light until it's connected to the source. In the same way, you have unimaginable power inside you, but it needs connection to the divine through prayer. He said, open quote, prayer power is a kind of miracle formula for every difficulty. When you pray, you draw spiritual energy into your mind and body. Close quote. This energy, though invisible, changes everything. It clears confusion, lifts fear, and gives you strength to face what once felt impossible. The calm power of sincere prayer. Dr. Peel warned against hurried or mechanical prayers. He said, you cannot rush the soul. Instead, he encouraged quiet, thoughtful, conversational prayer. Speak to God as you would to your dearest friend. Share your worries, your hopes, your gratitude, and most importantly, listen. The most powerful part of prayer, he said, is not the asking, but the receiving of peace. He would often tell people, open quote, if you pray for 5 minutes, be silent for 5 more. That's when God's voice whispers peace back to you. Close quote. Faith and relaxation. There's a mysterious link between faith and relaxation. When you trust the process of life, your body loosens, your breath deepens, and your heart becomes a steady rhythm of peace. Dr. Peel shared a practical technique called the faith pause. He told his readers to stop several times a day, take a deep breath, and mentally affirm, open quote, God is here, all is well. Close quote. This simple act, he said, can shift your entire mood and restore your mental balance. Prayer is not an escape, it's an alignment. You're not turning away from life, you're turning toward its divine meaning. The story of the weary woman. A woman once wrote to Peel saying, open quote, I pray every night, but nothing happens. I still wake up worried. I still feel alone. Close quote. He replied, open quote, perhaps you're doing all the talking. Try listening. Close quote. She followed his advice. Each night, instead of asking, she simply sat in stillness, breathed deeply, and repeated, open quote, God's peace fills me now, close quote. Within weeks, her anxiety eased. She began to notice little signs of grace, kind words from strangers, moments of joy, sudden solutions. She realized the truth. Prayer does not always change circumstances first. It changes you first. The science behind prayer. Modern science has begun to confirm what Dr. Peel taught decades ago. Prayer and meditation slow the heartbeat, reduce stress hormones, and restore emotional balance. But Peel wasn't concerned with science as much as with experience. He said, open quote, you will know prayer power by what it does to your peace of mind. Close quote. He encouraged his readers to test it. For 1 week, pray each morning before anything else. Just say, open quote, thank you, God, for this new day. Guide me, strengthen me, fill me with peace, close quote. Then observe. You'll find yourself calmer, more focused, and quietly confident, not because the world became easier, but because you became stronger. Affirmations of prayer power. To help people cultivate prayer energy, Dr. Peel shared simple affirmations you can repeat anytime, anywhere. He wrote, open quote, repeat these often enough and they will sink deep into your subconscious. Close quote. Here are a few he loved to use. 1. I place myself in God's hands. I know he will guide me. 2. Peace fills my heart. I am calm and confident. 3. I am not afraid. I am never alone. 4. God's power is greater than any problem before me. 5. With faith, I can handle whatever comes. These phrases are not just words. They are reminders of your true nature. Calm, confident, connected to divine peace. Closing reflection. The peace that flows. Dr. Peel believed that when you pray sincerely, you enter into a river of divine energy that never stops flowing. You can feel it move through your mind, cleansing the clutter of fear, washing away self-doubt, and leaving behind a quiet strength. He wrote, open quote, prayer is the most powerful energy you can generate. It is a force as real as gravity. Use it every day, and you will never run out of peace. Close quote. So tonight, when the noise of the world fades, find a quiet place. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and simply say, open quote, God, thank you for this day. Fill me with your calm and let your light guide my tomorrow, close quote. Then let the silence hold you. In that stillness, you will feel it. The warm, steady pulse of peace, the gentle power of prayer, the truth that you are never alone. Soft ambient sound fades out. Chapter 5, How to Create Your Own Happiness. Around 15 to 20 minutes of peaceful, reflective narration, perfect for audiobook voice. Chapter 5, How to Create Your Own Happiness. Gentle background, soft strings, morning birds, slow tone. Happiness. It's the one thing every person on earth seeks, yet so few truly understand. We search for it in success, in possessions, in relationships. We tell ourselves, when this happens, I'll finally be happy. But Dr. Norman Vincent Peale taught something beautifully different. Open quote, happiness is not something that happens to you. It is something you create inside yourself. Close quote. It is not a reward at the end of life's journey. It is the way you walk that journey every single day. A simple man, a profound lesson. Dr. Peale once met an old farmer who always seemed joyful. Rain or drought, plenty or hardship, the man smiled the same calm smile. Curious, Peale asked him, "How do you stay so cheerful through all this?" The farmer replied, quote, "Well, Pastor, I learned long ago that two kinds of weather always happen, good and bad, and I decided I'd thank God for both, because both make me grow." Close quote. Then he laughed softly and said, open quote, "Besides, being unhappy never helped the crops." Close quote. Peale smiled, realizing this humble man had grasped a profound truth. Happiness is a decision, not a condition. The habitful thinking. Dr. Peale believed that happiness is built through habitual positive thought. He said, open quote, "You can train yourself to be happy just as you train yourself to play an instrument." Close quote. Each morning, he suggested, start your day by consciously choosing cheerful thoughts. Say to yourself, open quote, "Today I choose happiness. I will look for beauty, not complaint. I will speak words of kindness, not bitterness. I will be grateful for what I have." Close quote. This mental decision sets the emotional tone of your entire day. Even if things go wrong, you return to that choice. I choose happiness anyway. Because happiness, he said, is not denial of pain. It's the courage to rise above it. The power of gratitude. Dr. Peale often wrote that gratitude is the mother of happiness. He told of a woman who came to him feeling hopeless. She had money, comfort, and health, yet she was constantly unhappy. When he asked her what she was thankful for, she said, "Honestly, I can't think of anything right now." He handed her a notepad and said, open quote, "Go home and write down 10 things you are thankful for, however small. Do it for 1 week." Close quote. Reluctantly, she agreed. At first, her list was forced. My home, my cat, the sunshine. But as the days passed, something changed. Her heart began to notice blessings she had ignored. The warmth of morning coffee, the laughter of a child nearby, a kind word from a friend. By the end of the week, she came back smiling. She said, "Nothing in my life changed, but somehow everything feels different." Peale replied gently, open quote, "That's because gratitude opens the door to happiness. It lets the light in." Close quote. The danger of self-pity. Dr. Peale warned that self-pity is one of the most destructive emotions. It blocks happiness like clouds block the sun. He wrote, open quote, "When you feel sorry for yourself, you close the window through which joy enters." Close quote. He told the story of a man who constantly complained about being unlucky. Everything in life, he said, seemed to go wrong. Dr. Peale asked him to try an experiment. Open quote, "For 10 days, he said, stop complaining completely. Instead, each time something bothers you, say, I trust that this will turn out for good." Close quote. The man laughed, but agreed. Within a week, he noticed subtle miracles. People were kinder. He felt calmer. Even problems seemed easier to solve. By the end, he said, "I didn't realize how much energy I was wasting feeling sorry for myself." That's the magic of mindset. When you stop feeding negativity, happiness naturally returns to fill the space. The secret of giving happiness away. Dr. Peale discovered another paradoxical truth. The quickest way to find happiness is to give it away. He said, open quote, "Happiness increases by being shared. It grows by the measure you scatter it." Close quote. He told of a woman who struggled with loneliness. No family, few friends. Her days felt empty. Dr. Peale advised her to visit a hospital once a week, not for treatment, no, but to simply talk to patients, smile, or bring flowers. She did, and soon she became known as the Sunshine Lady. Within months, her own loneliness began to fade. She said, open quote, "I went to give happiness to others, but I think I received more than I gave." Close quote. That Peele wrote, is divine arithmetic. You multiply joy by giving it. Hash the simple formula for happiness. Dr. Peele often summarized his philosophy in a single line. Open quote, happiness is the result of right thinking, right living, and right acting. Close quote. He gave a practical formula. 1. Think happiness. Fill your mind with cheerful, hopeful thoughts. Avoid negative conversations or gossip. Read uplifting words each day. 2. Act happiness. Smile even when you don't feel like it. Speak kindly. Help someone without expecting anything in return. 3. Believe happiness. Believe that you deserve to be happy. Believe that God wants you to live joyfully, not fearfully. Follow this formula faithfully, he said, and happiness will stop being a visitor. It will become a resident in your heart. The peace of the happy heart. In his gentle way, Dr. Peele reminded his readers, open quote, happiness is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of peace, close quote. You can still have difficulties, yet be deeply happy, because happiness comes from trust. The quiet assurance that life, despite its storms, is good and meaningful. He often prayed this simple line, open quote, "O God, I thank you for the joy of life. Help me to live each day in cheerful faith and quiet courage." Close quote. Try saying that when you wake up. Then watch how the day unfolds differently, how colors seem brighter, how burdens feel lighter, how peace begins to hum softly inside you. Chapter 6. Stop fuming and fretting. 15 to 20 minutes of soothing, thoughtful narration with a calm, meditative rhythm. Chapter 6. Stop fuming and fretting. Gentle background, slow piano, distant rain sounds, soft tone. Sometimes we don't even notice it happening. Our mind starts to rush ahead, our breath shortens, our shoulders tighten, and suddenly we're caught in a storm of hurry, anxiety, and frustration. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale called this state fuming and fretting. He said it is one of the greatest thieves of peace and joy. It doesn't matter how good your life is. If your spirit is restless, you cannot feel happy. And it doesn't matter how busy your world is. If your mind is calm, you can find peace anywhere. The problem of overheating the mind. Dr. Peale once told the story of a man who came to see him, trembling with stress. His business was growing fast, but his nerves were collapsing faster. He said, open quote, "I feel like my mind is on fire, always racing, never resting." Close quote. Dr. Peale listened quietly, then smiled and said, open quote, "You remind me of an overheated motor. If you don't learn to cool down, you'll burn out." Close quote. He explained that our minds work just like engines. They are powerful, but only when properly cooled and maintained. Worry, hurry, and tension act like friction. They wear out the parts of the soul. The man laughed nervously and said, open quote, "Easier said than done, Pastor. How do I cool my mind?" Close quote. Peale handed him a small card with these words, open quote, "I relax. God is in control." Close quote. He told him to repeat it slowly several times a day. Each time he felt his chest tighten or his thoughts race, he was to stop, breathe, and quietly say the line. After 2 weeks, the man came back, calmer, smiling. He said, open quote, "I still work hard, but now I work peacefully." Close quote. The art of slowing the mind. Dr. Peale's advice was simple but profound. Open quote, "Slow down your pace, and you will find your peace." Close quote. We live in a world that worships speed. Fast work, fast results, fast everything. But the soul doesn't move at the speed of machines. It moves at the rhythm of nature. Steady, slow, gentle. Peale suggested a small daily ritual called the pause practice. Whenever you feel tension rising, do this. 1. Stop what you're doing. 2. Close your eyes and take 3 slow breaths. 3. Say silently, open quote, "I am calm. God is here. All is well." Close quote. 4. Then continue your work, but more slowly, more mindfully. He promised that if you practice this several times a day, your whole temperament would begin to change. He said, open quote, "Tension is a habit, so is peace. The difference is which one you practice more often." Close quote. The power of letting go. Dr. Peale often noticed that people exhaust themselves trying to control everything. He said, open quote, "You're not Atlas. The world does not rest on your shoulders." Close quote. We think worrying will help us manage life, but worry does not solve problems. It multiplies them. He wrote, open quote, "The more you fret, the less you think clearly. And the less you think clearly, the more you fret." Close quote. To break this cycle, Peale taught the let go prayer. Whenever you catch yourself overthinking or fearing something, say quietly, open quote, I let go and let God take over, close quote. Repeat it until you feel the tension begin to melt. This is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the strength of surrender. You are not giving up your power. You are aligning with a greater one. The example of the calm pilot Peale once flew with a pilot through stormy weather. Lightning flashed, turbulence shook the plane, and passengers began to panic. But the pilot's voice over the intercom was calm and steady. Open quote, ladies and gentlemen, we're in for some rough air, but everything is under control. Close quote. After they landed safely, Peale asked, open quote, how do you stay so calm up there? Close quote. The pilot smiled and said, open quote, when the sky shakes, I trust the instruments, not the storm. Close quote. Peale reflected on that moment and wrote, open quote, when life shakes you, trust your inner instruments, faith, peace, prayer, and patience. They will carry you through the storm. Close quote. Learning the rhythm of peace. Dr. Peale encouraged people to consciously slow their living rhythm. He said, open quote, don't hurry, don't worry. Instead, live unhurriedly, quietly, and with peace in your heart. Close quote. He recommended starting the day not with a rush, but with a few minutes of silence, sitting quietly, breathing deeply, saying something like, open quote, today I choose calm strength. I will not hurry. I will not fear. I will walk with peace. Close quote. This, he promised, can change the quality of your whole day. Even 5 minutes of genuine stillness can save you from hours of restless tension. The healing power of relaxed faith. Dr. Peale often met people who prayed anxiously, as if their prayers were battles instead of conversations. He gently reminded them that true prayer is relaxed. He said, open quote, faith is not straining to believe. It is quietly knowing that things will be all right. Close quote. He encouraged people to visualize peace flowing into them like sunlight, calm, steady, warm. He called this spiritual relaxation. To practice it, lie down or sit comfortably. Take slow, deep breaths. With each breath, imagine a wave of divine peace washing over you. Say quietly, open quote, God's peace fills me now. I am calm, steady, and safe. Close quote. Stay there for a few minutes. Feel the difference. That's the soul's natural state, not tension, but tranquility. Final reflection, the grace of stillness. In the end, Dr. Peale said that the happiest and most successful people he met were not those who lived in a rush, but those who lived in rhythm, steady, peaceful, trusting. He wrote, open quote, there is a power in calmness. It turns ordinary days into peaceful ones and stressful situations into lessons of faith. Close quote. He believed that God never meant for us to live in constant strain. Life is meant to be lived with ease of heart and clarity of mind. So whenever your world feels like it's spinning too fast, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Whisper to yourself, open quote, I am calm. I am in God's hands. Trust, I will not fume or fret. Close quote. Then continue. Slowly, steadily, peacefully. For in calmness lies strength, and in peace lies power. Chapter 5. How to create your own happiness. Open quote. Happiness is not something you find. It is something you create. Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. So many people chase happiness as if it were hiding in some distant corner of life, in wealth, in success, in the approval of others. But Dr. Peale teaches a simpler truth. Happiness is not an accident. It's a spiritual habit, an inner choice renewed each day. The misunderstanding about happiness. Imagine two men standing under the same sky. One looks up and says, what a gloomy day. The other smiles and says, the air feels fresh. What a gift to be alive. Both are right, but their experience of the same day is completely different. Why? Because happiness depends far less on circumstances and far more on attitude. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always decide how you will meet it. And that decision, quiet, invisible, made in the heart, is what builds true happiness. Story. The woman who forgot to be miserable. Dr. Peale once told the story of a woman who was constantly unhappy. She would complain of her health, her finances, her neighbors, everything. One day, he gave her an unusual assignment. He said, open quote, for 1 week, stop saying anything negative. Every time you feel unhappy, find one small thing to be grateful for instead. Close quote. She laughed at the idea, but agreed to try. At first, it felt impossible. She had lived so long in complaint that gratitude felt unnatural. But she kept trying. She began noticing small things: a bird on her windowsill, the warmth of morning sunlight, the sound of her daughter's laughter. When Peel met her again a few weeks later, he barely recognized her. She said, smiling, open quote, "I forgot to be miserable." Close quote. Happiness had not come to her. She had created it. The law of the mind. Open quote. Your thoughts carve the path of your emotions. Close quote. When you think grateful, loving, peaceful thoughts, your mind sends that vibration through your body. Your heart rate steadies, your muscles relax, you breathe more fully, and slowly joy begins to appear, not as excitement, but as quiet contentment. Dr. Peel said, open quote, "Happiness is the result of harmony between your thoughts and God's peace." Close quote. It's not about having everything perfect, it's about feeling right inside, even when things outside are imperfect. Practical ways to create happiness. 1. Start with appreciation. Each morning, before checking your phone or rushing into your day, list 3 things you are grateful for. Say them softly. Let gratitude fill your first breath of the day. 2. Bless others. Silently. When you walk or travel, silently bless people you see. Say in your heart, open quote, "May they be happy. May they find peace." This simple act opens your heart and dissolves invisible walls. Close quote. 3. Refuse the negative thought. The moment a bitter or hopeless thought appears, gently say, open quote, "That thought does not belong to me." Then replace it with a phrase like, "Something good is on its way." Close quote. 4. Laugh often, even softly. Laughter cleanses the soul like rain. Dr. Peel often said, "A cheerful heart is a continual feast." Smile even when alone. It brightens the spirit. Reflection. Close your eyes and remember a small, quiet moment when you felt happy. Maybe sipping tea, hearing rain, watching someone you love. Notice how little it took. That's the secret. Happiness lives in small awareness, not big events. You don't need to find happiness. You simply need to stop chasing unhappiness. Closing thought. Chapter 5, open quote, "The surest way to happiness is to lose yourself in serving others and giving thanks for what you already have." Close quote. Let these words echo softly. Open quote, "I am happy because I choose to be. I am grateful for the simple things. I create peace wherever I go." Close quote. Soft music fades out, sound of distant wind chime. Now begins Chapter 6. Expect the best and get it. Open quote. When you expect the best, you release a magnetic force in your mind which brings the best to you. Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. Every day, we step into the world carrying invisible expectations. Some of us carry hope, others carry fear. And whether we realize it or not, those expectations quietly shape what we see, what we attract, and what we achieve. The law of expectation. Dr. Peel teaches that expectation is a form of faith. When you expect something good, you are saying to the universe, open quote, "I trust that life is on my side." Close quote. When you expect failure or disappointment, you are saying, open quote, "I don't believe good things are meant for me." Close quote. Life tends to fulfill whatever prophecy you speak, not through magic, but through focus. Your mind notices opportunities that align with your belief. If you expect defeat, you'll notice obstacles. If you expect victory, you'll notice openings. Story. The salesman who couldn't sell Dr. Peel once met a young salesman who was failing miserably. He said, "I just can't sell. Nobody wants what I'm offering." Peel replied, open quote, "You don't believe in your product, and worse, you don't believe in yourself. You're walking into each office expecting rejection, and that's exactly what you get." Close quote. Then Peel gave him an exercise. Before each call, stand still, close your eyes, and say 3 times. Open quote, "They will like me. They will listen. Something good will happen." Close quote. It felt awkward at first, but he tried it faithfully for a week. Within days, his energy changed, and soon, so did his results. He began to make sales, not because his pitch changed, but because his expectations shifted. The mind as a magnet. Peel explains, open quote, "The mind always attracts that which it dwells upon." Close quote. If your thoughts are full of fear, you draw fearful experiences. If they're full of faith, you draw solutions, helpers, and courage. Think of your mind as a garden. If you plant seeds of doubt, they will grow quickly. But if you plant seeds of confidence, patience, and optimism, your life blooms in harmony. Your thoughts whisper to the world what to send you. So whisper carefully. Practice. The expectation habit. Try this gentle habit for 1 week. Every morning, before you start your day, stand in front of a mirror and softly say, open quote, "Something good will happen to me today. Something good will happen through me today." Close quote. Say it slowly. Believe it a little more each time. Then walk out into your day expecting good, not forcing it, not demanding it, simply allowing it. You'll notice small changes. People smile more, you find small solutions, peace comes easier. That is the invisible law of positive expectation beginning to work. Our story, the woman who expected healing. Dr. Peel tells of a woman gravely ill and losing hope. She said, "I don't think I'll recover." He asked her gently, "What if you changed that thought to 'I expect to get better with God's help'?" She did. Every morning, she repeated that sentence with conviction. Her doctors noticed a change. She grew stronger, more cheerful, more alive. Her health improved steadily. When she visited Peel later, she said, open quote, "I'm not sure what healed me, medicine or faith, but I know my recovery began when I changed my expectations." Close quote. That is the power of the mind aligned with divine possibility. Overcoming negative expectation. When things go wrong, it's easy to expect more of the same. We say, "Nothing good ever happens to me," or "I always fail." But Peel reminds us, open quote, "Never build your future out of your past disappointments." Close quote. Each day is a blank page. Even if yesterday was full of trouble, today can begin with quiet hope. Expect something better, and life will gradually rise to meet your expectation. Prayer for expectation, soft background, slow strings. Open quote, "Dear God, help me expect the best, not from pride, but from faith, not from ego, but from trust. Teach me to look at life with confident eyes, believing that goodness is possible, that success is near, that peace is meant for me." Close quote. Pause for a breath. Let the quiet voice inside you say, open quote, "Yes, I believe." Close quote. Closing thought. Chapter 6. Open quote. If you expect trouble, you'll get it. If you expect peace, it will find you. If you expect success, the doors will open. Close quote. Keep your heart tuned to the highest frequency. Expectation of good. Not because everything will be perfect, but because you will meet life with the power that creates good. So as you rise each morning, whisper softly, open quote, "Something good will happen today, and I will be ready to receive it." Close quote. Music fades out slowly, soft wind, then silence. Chapter 7. I don't believe in defeat. Open quote, "Stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You will find that they haven't half the strength you think they have." Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. In every person's life, there are moments that feel impossible. Moments when everything we built begins to fall apart. When the mountain ahead seems too high and we whisper to ourselves, "I can't do this." But Dr. Peale reminds us, the only true defeat is the one you accept. No situation, no person, no failure can truly defeat you unless you give it permission. The inner voice of defeat. When trouble comes, the mind starts whispering lies. Open quote. "You're not strong enough. You've failed too many times. There's no way out." Close quote. These voices are not truth. They are echoes of fear. They come from tiredness, disappointment, and old memories of pain. But within you lives another voice, quiet, calm, courageous. It says, open quote, "Try once more. You are not finished yet." Close quote. Learning to hear that voice is the beginning of victory. Story: The Farmer and the Donkey. Dr. Peale once told a story that became one of his favorites. A farmer's old donkey fell into a deep pit. The animal cried and struggled, but the farmer couldn't pull him out. Finally, the farmer decided to bury him, thinking it was hopeless. He began shoveling dirt into the pit. At first, the donkey panicked. But then he did something amazing. With every shovel of dirt that hit his back, he shook it off and stepped up. Again and again. Shake it off, step up. After many hours, the farmer looked down and saw the donkey walking out of the pit, free. The lesson: every hardship, every failure, every insult, shake it off and step up. Use it to rise. The law of perseverance, open quote. Defeat is not final unless you stop trying. Close quote. Most people quit just one step before success. They lose heart because the road looks endless. But often, that's the moment right before the turning point. Think of Thomas Edison. He failed hundreds of times before inventing the light bulb. When someone asked if he ever felt like a failure, he replied, open quote, "I didn't fail. I just found hundreds of ways that didn't work." Close quote. That's the mindset of victory. Calm persistence. Not loud or desperate, but steady, faithful, unstoppable. Story. The woman who lost everything. A woman once came to Peel's office weeping. She had lost her job, her health, and her confidence. She said, open quote, I think God has forgotten me. Close quote. Peel replied gently, open quote, God never forgets, but you've forgotten something, the strength he placed in you. Close quote. Then he wrote a verse on a piece of paper and handed it to her. Open quote, if God be for us, who can be against us? Close quote. He told her to repeat it daily, not mechanically, but with feeling. Every morning, she would stand before her mirror and say it out loud. Weeks passed. Her faith returned first, then her health, and eventually her career. She later said, open quote, the moment I stopped believing in defeat, everything began to change. Close quote. The art of refusing defeat. Refusing defeat doesn't mean pretending life is easy. It means meeting life's hardness with inner calm. When you refuse defeat, you are saying, open quote, I will not give up my faith, my peace, or my self-respect, no matter what happens. Close quote. This attitude transforms your entire energy. People sense it, situations bend toward it, and even your body responds with new vitality. Practice. The 3 sentences of strength. When you face difficulty, say these sentences slowly, clearly. 1, this problem is not stronger than me. 2, I am guided and I will find a way. 3, defeat is a word I no longer accept. Say them every day for 7 days. Write them where you can see them. On your mirror, your phone screen, your desk. Watch how your confidence begins to rebuild from the inside. Reflection. Close your eyes and remember a moment in your past when you overcame something you thought you couldn't. Feel that strength again. That strength never left you. It's waiting quietly under the dust of fear. Every victory, large or small, begins with one thought. Open quote, I will not be defeated. Close quote. Closing thought. Chapter 7. Open quote, you are never defeated unless you accept defeat as reality. Faith turns setbacks into comebacks. Close quote. So lift your head, take one more step, say to life calmly and confidently, open quote, I don't believe in defeat. Close quote. And life, hearing that conviction, will slowly move out of your way. Soft music fades. The sound of wind and a heartbeat slow into silence. Tower Chapter 8. Power to solve personal problems. Open quote, there is no problem so big or so complicated that it cannot be solved with faith and patience. Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. Every person faces problems. Confusion, heartbreak, fear, loss, or a sense of being stuck. But Dr. Peale teaches that within every problem hides a gift, an answer, and a lesson. When we face problems with peace instead of panic, we discover that the solution often rises quietly from within. Chash, the nature of problems. A problem is not your enemy. It's a teacher wearing a disguise. The difference between people who grow and people who crumble is not in the size of their problems, it's in their response to them. Some people run away from difficulties, others fight blindly. But the wise person pauses, breathes, and says, open quote, there is a solution, I just haven't seen it yet. Close quote. That calm belief opens the door for intuition, inspiration, and divine guidance to enter. Story, the businessman in despair. Dr. Peale once met a businessman who said, open quote, I'm finished. My company is collapsing. I see no way out. Close quote. No. Open quote, have you prayed about it? The man replied, I've tried, but my mind is too full of fear. Close quote. So Peale suggested a different approach. He said, open quote, let's sit quietly. Close your eyes. Imagine placing the entire problem, every number, every debt, every fear into God's hands. Close quote. They sat in silence. Minutes passed. Then slowly the man said, open quote, I feel calm, as if the weight lifted. Close quote. In that stillness, an idea came to him. A small, simple step he hadn't thought of before. That idea became the turning point that saved his company. Peale later said, open quote, when you still the noise of fear, divine wisdom can finally speak. Close quote. The formula for solving problems. Dr. Peale shared a 4-step spiritual formula for handling any problem. 1. Pray about it. Specifically, name your problem clearly. Don't say, I'm troubled. Say, I am struggling with fear of failure, or I don't know how to handle this relationship. Clarity is the first key to power. 2. Imagine it solved. Close your eyes and see the problem peacefully resolved. Picture yourself smiling, relieved, and grateful. This mental vision sends a signal to your subconscious mind. It starts looking for ways to make that image real. 3. Release it to God. Say, open quote, "This problem is too big for me, but not too big for God." Let go of the urge to control everything. Trust that the right answer will come at the right time. Close quote. 4. Act with calm confidence. Once peace enters your heart, take the next small, wise step that presents itself. Do not rush. Let inspiration guide you. The quiet strength of faith. Dr. Peel often reminded readers, open quote, "Faith is not believing that everything will go your way. It's believing that you will be okay even when it doesn't." Close quote. This kind of faith doesn't remove problems. It transforms your relationship with them. You stop being a victim of fear and become a co-creator of peace. When the mind is calm, hidden doors open. When the heart is steady, help arrives in mysterious ways. Story: The Mother Who Found Peace. A woman once came to Peel overwhelmed by worry about her son who had gone astray. She said, open quote, "I can't sleep, I can't eat, I've prayed but nothing changes." Close quote. Peel told her gently, open quote, "You are praying with fear, not faith. Fear blocks the flow of divine power. Try this. Instead of begging, thank God in advance that He is already working to heal your son." Close quote. She tried it. Every night she said softly, open quote, "Thank you, God, for taking care of my son. I release him to your love." Close quote. A few weeks later, her son called her unexpectedly. He said, open quote, "Mom, I've been thinking. I want to turn my life around." Close quote. She wept with joy and whispered, open quote, "It wasn't my worry that changed him. It was my peace." Close quote. The inner attitude of a problem solver. People who solve problems gracefully share 3 quiet habits. 1, they stay calm when others panic, because they know panic never produces wisdom. 2, they believe every challenge hides a gift. This belief makes them curious instead of afraid. 3, they rely on prayer, not pressure. They trust that when they do their part, life does the rest. Practice. Peaceful problem prayer. When you feel overwhelmed, try this simple meditation. Open quote, "God is in this situation. His wisdom is guiding me now. I release fear and I receive peace. The right answer is coming. I will recognize it and act on it." Close quote. Repeat it 3 times, slowly. Then breathe deeply and go about your day in quiet confidence. Closing thought, Chapter 8. Open quote, "Problems are not stop signs. They are guideposts." Close quote. Each one points you toward growth, strength, and faith. The next time you face a storm, don't say, "Why me?" Say instead, open quote, "What can I learn here? What is this problem trying to teach me?" Close quote. And remember, open quote, "There is always a way, because there is always God." Close. Soft music fades. Sound of gentle rain, then silence. Chapter 9. How to break the worry habit. Open quote, "Worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere." Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. Everyone worries. We worry about our health, our loved ones, our future, our work. But Dr. Peale teaches that worry is not a natural state. It's a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken through awareness, faith, and gentle practice. The nature of worry. Worry begins as a small thought. What if? That tiny spark grows into fear, then into sleepless nights, tight shoulders, restless hearts. We imagine every worst-case scenario. Our minds rehearse pain that hasn't even happened. Peale says, open quote, "Worry is faith in reverse. It is faith in defeat instead of victory." Close quote. When you worry, you are believing in failure instead of believing in peace. So the key to breaking worry is not fighting it, it's replacing it with faith. The 3-step method to stop worrying. Dr. Peale offered a simple but powerful formula. Step 1, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Don't run from the fear. Face it directly. When you calmly imagine the worst possible outcome, it loses half its power over you. Step 2, prepare to accept it, if you must. This doesn't mean surrendering. It means saying, even if that happens, I will still be okay. Life will go on. This inner acceptance brings calm. The panic subsides. Step 3, now calmly work to improve it. Once your mind is clear, you can think creatively. You stop reacting and start solving. This process, face it, accept it, improve it, has saved many people from worry's trap. Story: The man who worried about everything. Dr. Peale once met a man who said, open quote, I worry about everything. My job, my family, my health, my future. Close quote. Peele handed him a small card that said, open quote, relax and let God handle it. Close quote. He told the man to carry the card everywhere. Each time he caught himself worrying, he had to stop and whisper that line. Weeks later, the man returned, calm and smiling. He said, open quote, every time I said those words, I felt peace for a few moments. Then those moments started to last longer. Now I can't even remember what I used to worry about. Close quote. That is how faith slowly replaces fear. Not by force, but by repetition. The power of letting go. Worry thrives on control. We worry because we can't control everything. People, outcomes, time, fate. Dr. Peele's wisdom is simple. Open quote, when you've done all you can do, stop. And let God do the rest. Close quote. Imagine your mind as a clenched fist. When you worry, you tighten your grip. When you let go in faith, you open your palm, and peace can finally rest there. The Serenity Practice. Every morning before your day begins, say this softly. Open quote, I let go of what I cannot control. I trust that what's meant for me will come. I do my best, and I rest in peace. Close quote. This short prayer rewires your thinking. It reminds you that peace is not something you earn, it's something you allow. Story, the mother of the soldier. During wartime, a mother came to Peele with tears in her eyes. Her son was away in battle, and every night she imagined the worst. She said, open quote, I can't stop thinking, what if something happens to him? Close quote. Peele told her gently, open quote, you are trying to carry both your son and your fear. Let God carry one of them. Close quote. He asked her to visualize her son wrapped in divine light, strong, protected, watched over. Then to say every night before bed, open quote, he is in God's care. I release him to peace. Close quote. She did. Her nights became quiet again. Later, when her son returned home safely, she said, open quote, it was faith that gave me rest, not worry. Close quote. The science of peace. Worry affects the body. It drains the immune system, tightens muscles, clouds the mind. But calm thinking renews energy and brings clarity. Peele reminds us, open quote, when you expect the worst, you invite it. When you trust for the best, you make it possible. Close quote. That is not blind optimism, it's practical spirituality. Practice the worry to faith shift. When you catch yourself worrying, pause and say this. Open quote, right now, I choose faith over fear. I choose peace over panic. I choose trust over tension. Close quote. Take 3 slow breaths. As you breathe out, imagine the worry leaving your body like smoke dissolving into air. Do this every day. Worry will still knock, but it will no longer stay long. Closing thought, chapter 9. Open quote, the antidote to worry is faith. Calm, quiet, steady, faith. Close quote. When you begin to worry, don't try to stop the thought. Just shift your focus. Whisper. Open quote, God is in control. Close quote. And remember, peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of trust. Chapter 10. The power to get people to like you. Open quote. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Dale Carnegie. Close quote. Dr. Peele believed that likability isn't a trick. It's a reflection of the love within you. When you sincerely care for others, it shines through your words, your eyes, your smile, your silence. Now 1. The law of human warmth. There's something magnetic about kindness. When you radiate warmth, people sense it even before you speak. Peele said, open quote, the deepest craving of human nature is the desire to be appreciated. Close quote. Try it for 1 week. Each time you meet someone, silently say to yourself, open quote, you are a child of God. You matter. Close quote. Notice how your tone changes, your face softens, your words become gentle. People will feel it, and they will respond with trust. 2. Be interested? Not interesting. Most of us try to impress others with our achievements, our stories, our opinions. But people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Peele suggests a simple secret. Open quote, if you want to be liked, forget yourself. Think of others. Close quote. Ask questions. Listen. When someone talks, don't plan your next sentence. Be there. That pure attention is rare and therefore precious. Everyone you meet is fighting an invisible battle. When you listen with compassion, you become a quiet refuge in a noisy world. 3. Smile, the spiritual signal. A smile is more than a facial expression. It's an energy of the heart. A genuine smile says, open quote, I see you. I wish you well. Close quote. Peele once met a woman who complained, open quote, nobody seems to like me. He asked, do you smile at people? She frowned, not really. I wait for them to smile first. Close quote. Peele smiled and said gently, open quote, that's the problem. The world is waiting for you. Close quote. A smile costs nothing but creates warmth instantly. It softens anger, melts distance, and opens conversation. Try this. Tomorrow, smile at 10 people, sincerely. Watch how their eyes light up. That moment of shared warmth is the essence of connection. 4. The power of the name. Names carry identity, dignity, and recognition. Peele taught that using a person's name with respect has spiritual power. When you remember and speak someone's name kindly, you tell them, open quote, you are not invisible, close quote. Make it a habit. In your workplace, your home, even the marketplace. Address people by name, look into their eyes, and thank them sincerely. This single act can transform a routine exchange into a meaningful moment. 5. Remove judgment, plant understanding. Peele reminds us that we often block love with judgment. We look for flaws instead of beauty. We assume instead of understanding. He said, open quote, when you look for the good in people, you find it. When you look for faults, you find them too. Close quote. So, make a quiet decision. Open quote, from today, I will be a finder of good. Close quote. See the light in others, even when they don't see it in themselves. Your perception can be their mirror of hope. 6. Practice the friendship prayer. Every morning, say this softly before meeting people. Open quote, Lord, make me an instrument of kindness. Let me bring calm where there is tension, warmth where there is coldness, and love where there is loneliness. Close quote. This prayer changes the atmosphere of your day. It reminds you that friendship is not about popularity, it's about presence. 7. Story. The lonely businessman. Peele once met a wealthy man who confessed, open quote, I have everything. Success, money, but no real friends. Close quote. Peele asked, open quote, do you ever show people that you care about them? He replied, I'm afraid to. They might take advantage of me. Close quote. Peele smiled kindly and said, open quote, then you are protecting your loneliness instead of your heart. Close quote. He encouraged him to start small, compliment his staff, thank his driver, greet his neighbors. Months later, the man returned changed. He said, open quote, I learned that when I give friendship, I receive it back tenfold. Close quote. 8. Believe that you are lovable. Some people struggle to make friends because deep inside they don't believe they're worth loving. Peele would often say, open quote, you cannot expect others to like you if you do not like yourself. Close quote. Self-love is not vanity. It is the recognition that you are a creation of God. When you accept yourself, others will feel comfortable around you. Repeat this affirmation every morning. Open quote, I am at peace with who I am loved, and I give love freely. Close quote. Over time, you'll notice people drawn to your calm confidence because they sense you don't need to prove yourself. 9. The secret of radiant personality. A radiant personality doesn't come from beauty or talent. It comes from a peaceful heart. Dr. Peele wrote, open quote, the surest way to make friends is to radiate peace of mind. Close quote. When your spirit is calm, you become a light in the room. People feel safe near you. They open up, they relax. Your peace becomes their peace. 10. In every person, see a soul. At the end of every day, Peele would reflect on the people he met and whisper, open quote, God bless them. Each has a story I may never know. Close quote. He believed that every soul you meet is carrying a story of hope and hurt. When you meet others with compassion instead of criticism, you help heal that story a little. And that, Peele said, is the secret power behind every friendship. Open quote. To like people is to love God in his many forms. Close quote. Closing reflection. Chapter 10. So, how do you get people to like you? You don't try to get them to like you. You become someone who naturally gives love, attention, and peace. Open quote. Let your heart be open. Let your words be kind. Let your smile be real. And people will not only like you, they will feel healed by you. Close quote. Chapter 11. If you have a heartache. Open quote. No matter how dark the night, morning always comes. Norman Vincent Peale. Close quote. Everyone, at some point, faces sorrow, a broken relationship, a loss, a deep disappointment that shakes the soul. Dr. Peel reminds us that heartache is not the end of the story. It's the turning of a page toward healing, strength, and deeper faith. 1. Pain is proof that you loved. When your heart aches, it means you care deeply. Pain is not weakness. It's the echo of love that still vibrates inside you. Peel said, open quote, "The capacity to feel sorrow is the capacity to feel joy. If your heart can break, it can also heal." Close quote. You can't numb one without numbing the other. So allow yourself to feel. Cry if you must. Tears are not defeat. They are the soul's cleansing rain. #2. Don't run from your feelings. Sit with them. Most of us want to escape pain by distraction, work, or pretending. But Peel teaches that healing begins when you stop running and sit with your sorrow. He wrote, open quote, "God can only heal the wound you are willing to show him." Close quote. Imagine placing your pain into God's hands. Gently, honestly. You don't have to be strong. You just have to be open. #3. A story of loss and renewal. A woman once came to Dr. Peel after losing her husband suddenly. Her voice was hollow, her eyes dim. She said, open quote, "I don't know how to live without him." Close quote. Peel listened quietly, then said, open quote, "You don't have to stop loving him. You only need to love him differently now." Close quote. He asked her to write him a letter every night, telling him about her day, what she was grateful for, what she hoped for. After weeks, she returned calmer, softer. She said, open quote, "I still miss him, but I feel close to him in peace, not in pain." Close quote. Love doesn't end when life changes. It simply transforms, from presence to memory, from touch to faith. 4. Replace why me with what now. Peel said, open quote, "Don't ask why life hurt you, ask what it's teaching you." Close quote. Pain becomes purpose when you ask, what can I learn? Maybe the lesson is patience. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe it's faith. When you shift from why to what now, you stop being a victim of pain and become a student of healing. 5. Prayer of the broken heart. Dr. Peel often shared this prayer for those in sorrow. Open quote, "Dear God, I am hurting. My heart is heavy and tired. But I believe that with you, no pain is wasted. Heal me gently, Lord, and help me see that even this heartbreak can lead me closer to you." Close quote. Say this when you feel lost. Whisper it before sleep. It doesn't erase the pain, but it softens it. 6. The power of gratitude in grief. It may sound strange, being thankful while hurting, but Peel said, open quote, "Gratitude is the light that guides you through the tunnel of sorrow." Close quote. Instead of focusing on what you've lost, thank God for what you had. The memories, the moments, the love that once filled your days. Write them down. Read them aloud. You'll feel your heart slowly shift from pain to peace. 7. When you can't see the road ahead, sometimes sorrow blinds us. We can't see tomorrow. But Peel gently reminds, open quote, "You don't have to see the whole path. Just take the next step in faith." Close quote. Healing doesn't come all at once. It comes breath by breath, day by day. Wake up, make your bed, eat something, walk a little, pray a little. Small steps become recovery. Tiny moments become life again. 8. Story, the father who lost his son. A man once told Peel, open quote, "I feel like I've lost my will to live since my boy passed away." Close quote. Peel said softly, open quote, "Your son's love isn't gone. It's moved into eternity. Live now in such a way that your love for him becomes a blessing to others." Close quote. The man later started volunteering for children in hospitals. He said, open quote, "I couldn't bring my son back, but I could bring his kindness into the world." Close quote. That's the sacred secret of grief. Love that once hurt can become love that heals. 9. Remember, this too shall pass. Every heartbreak feels permanent when you're inside it. But Peel assures, open quote, "There is no night so long that it does not end in dawn." Close quote. Even the heaviest sorrow fades when held in faith. You will laugh again. You will feel sunlight on your face again. You will love again. Maybe deeper, maybe wiser. Closing reflection. Chapter 11. If you have a heartache, know this. You are not broken beyond repair. You are becoming more compassionate, more human, more divine. Open quote. God never wastes a hurt. Every pain prepares you for greater peace. Close quote. So tonight, breathe. Let the tears fall if they must. And when they dry, whisper, open quote, "I am healing." Slowly, gently, but I am healing. Soft piano fades, replaced by faint sounds of a new morning. Birds and wind through trees. Chapter 12, How to Draw Power from Prayer. Open quote, prayer is not asking, it is a longing of the soul. Mahatma Gandhi, close quote. Dr. Peel believed that prayer is not a desperate cry in dark times. It's a steady channel of divine energy, available always to anyone who opens their heart. Prayer, he said, is the greatest power known to human beings. It can renew the mind, restore the body, and calm the soul, if we learn how to use it with faith and feeling. 1. The true meaning of prayer. To many people, prayer feels like words, recited, repeated, mechanical. But real prayer is not about the mouth, it's about the heart. Peel wrote, open quote, prayer is simply the turning of the mind toward God, close quote. When you turn toward God, your inner noise softens. You remember you are not alone, never have been, and that awareness alone begins the healing. The power of the quiet moment. Dr. Peel often started his day not with rushing, but with silence. He'd sit by the window, eyes closed, and whisper, open quote, God, I give this day to you. Work through me. Close quote, no fancy words, no ritual, just surrender. That stillness became the secret of his energy. He said, open quote, I never start a day without connecting to the infinite. Without prayer, I am empty. With it, I am full. Close quote. So before emails, before stress, before news, pause. Take 5 minutes of silence. Breathe. Whisper your intention for the day. You'll notice how peace quietly replaces pressure. Nahar 3. How to pray effectively. Peel taught a simple 3-step method for effective prayer, gentle but life-changing. Step 1. Picture the desired outcome clearly. See it in your mind's eye, not vaguely but vividly. If you seek healing, picture yourself well. If you seek peace, imagine calm light within you. Step 2. Believe it's possible. Say to yourself, open quote, God's power is working in me right now. Faith activates the unseen. Close quote. Step 3. Release it with gratitude. Don't beg, thank. Open quote, thank you, Lord, for hearing me. Then let it go, trusting the process. Close quote. That's the rhythm of powerful prayer. Imagine, believe, release. Hash 4. Story, the woman who prayed her way through fear. A woman came to Dr. Peel terrified about surgery. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, her hands trembled with anxiety. Peel said, open quote, let's pray, but not for escape, for strength. Close quote. He asked her to repeat these words daily. Open quote, I am in God's hands. His peace fills me. His strength sustains me. Close quote. She did. The night before surgery, she slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. Afterward, she said, open quote, I felt an invisible presence with me. I wasn't afraid anymore, close quote. That is the power of prayer. Not that it changes the world for you, but that it changes you for the world. The energy of faith. Faith, Peel said, is the spiritual electricity that flows through prayer. When you plug into that divine current, fatigue and fear begin to fade. Open quote, prayer releases a flow of energy greater than all the batteries of the world. Close quote. This isn't poetic exaggeration. It's a truth he saw countless times. People who prayed regularly seemed younger, calmer, stronger, not because their lives were easier, but because their hearts were powered. Try it. When you feel tired, don't just rest your body, rest your soul. Sit quietly and whisper, open quote, God, recharge me with your peace. Then breathe deeply, letting silence do its quiet work. Close quote. 6. The continuous prayer. You don't have to kneel or close your eyes every time. Peel said, open quote, make your whole life a prayer. Close quote. When you walk, thank God for the air. When you work, ask God to guide your thoughts. When you rest, let gratitude be your lullaby. Prayer isn't a separate act, it's a state of being. When your heart stays connected, you no longer feel drained by life. You are sustained by grace. 7. Story. The businessman and the broken spirit. A man once told Peel, open quote, I've lost my drive. I feel burnt out. Close quote. Peel replied, open quote, when a machine runs out of power, we plug it in. When a soul runs out of power, we pray. Close quote. He taught the man to stop during the day, close his eyes for 30 seconds, and silently say, open quote, peace, be still. Close quote. Weeks later, the man said, open quote, every time I did that, I felt like my mind rebooted. Close quote. Prayer doesn't take time. It gives time back to you because it resets the spirit. Shashir 8. The science of prayer and peace. Even science agrees. Meditation and prayer slow the heartbeat, reduce anxiety, and increase clarity. But Peel goes deeper. He says it not only calms your nerves, it aligns you with divine order. When you pray, you are harmonizing with the greatest energy in existence, and harmony is healing. Chapter 9, the evening surrender. Before bed, Peel recommended a gentle ritual. Sit quietly for a few minutes. Think of every worry, regret, and burden of the day. Imagine placing them into God's hands one by one. Say softly, open quote, Lord, I'm giving it all back to you. The things I can't fix, you will. The things I fear, you will calm. The things I love, you will protect. Close quote. Then go to sleep with a quiet heart. The mind that surrenders sleeps like a child again. Closing reflection. Chapter 12. Prayer is not an escape from life. It's an entry into deeper living. It doesn't take you away from the world. It gives you strength to walk through it. Open quote. Prayer changes more than things. It changes people. And when people change, things change. Close quote. So pray gently. Pray simply. Pray as if you are speaking with your oldest friend, because you are. Music fades into silence, leaving a soft sense of calm and connection. Chapter 13. How to relax for easy power. Open quote. Relaxation of the body is the doorway to peace of mind. Norman Vincent Peale, close quote. We live in a world of rush, deadlines, noise, messages, comparisons. Everyone seems busy, but few are truly alive. Dr. Peale says, open quote, when you are tense, you block the flow of power. When you are relaxed, that power moves through you effortlessly. Close quote. True strength, he reminds us, doesn't come from effort, it comes from ease. 1. The paradox of power. We often think that working harder means doing better, but Peale shows that tension actually reduces performance. A violin string too tight will snap. A worker too stressed will make mistakes. A mind too anxious cannot think clearly. So, paradoxically, the more relaxed you are, the more effective you become. He writes, open quote, easy power comes from a quiet mind, close quote. 2. Learning to let go. Relaxation is not laziness. It's control and surrender. It's knowing that not everything depends on you. Try this small exercise. Whenever you feel tension building up, stop and say softly to yourself, open quote, I release, I let go, close quote. Then take a slow breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you breathe out, imagine the stress leaving your body. You'll feel your shoulders drop, your heart slow down, your thoughts unclench. That's your soul remembering peace. How's your 3? The art of slowing down. Peale said, open quote, if you want to go fast, go slow. Close quote, when you rush, you trip. When you slow down, you see. So take your breakfast slower, walk instead of scroll. Listen instead of reply. Pause between tasks. Moments of slowness are moments of power gathering. He told his congregation, open quote, God never hurries, yet everything gets done. Close quote. 4. Story, the nervous executive. A young businessman came to Peale saying, open quote, I'm always tired, tense, and my nerves are shot. Close quote. Peale asked, open quote, how often do you truly rest? Not just sleep, but rest. Close quote. The man laughed, never. I don't have time. Peale replied gently, open quote, then you are running your engine without oil. You'll soon burn out. Close quote. He taught the man to spend 10 minutes daily in total stillness. No talking, no thinking, just breathing and repeating. Open quote, peace, be still. Close quote. A month later, the man said, open quote, I feel like I've rediscovered my strength. Close quote. That's the magic of inner stillness. It refuels you without noise. Number 5, the spiritual power of rest. Even in the Bible, God rested on the 7th day, not because he was tired, but to teach us balance. Peale said, open quote, rest is not idleness, it's renewal, close quote. He advised everyone to create a daily quiet zone. No phone, no TV, no rush, just you, your breath, and God. In that stillness, something sacred happens. You stop striving and start receiving. Number 6, let go of inner tension. Physical relaxation starts with mental release. Tension comes from fear of failure, judgment, or time. Peale wrote, open quote, tension is your unconscious whisper that you don't trust life. Close quote. So when you feel tense, whisper back. Open quote, I trust that all is well. Close quote. Trust melts tension faster than effort ever can. Number 7, the easy power, visualization. Here's a simple practice Peale loved. 1, sit quietly and imagine a golden light above your head. Warm, soft, steady. 2, as you breathe, imagine it slowly flowing through your body. Head, shoulders, arms, chest, legs. 3, wherever it passes, tension melts. 4, say gently in your mind, open quote, God's peace is flowing through me now. Close quote. After 5 minutes, you'll feel lighter, not because life changed, but because you did. 8. The power of a calm face and voice. Peele taught that your calmness influences others more than your words. Open quote. A quiet voice carries farther than a loud one. Close quote. If you speak gently, even in chaos, people listen. If your face radiates peace, others feel it instantly. Your calm becomes contagious, and you become a silent healer wherever you go. Now, story. The woman who couldn't sleep. A woman told Peele, open quote, "Every night I lie awake with worries," close quote. He asked her to pray differently. Open quote. "Don't ask for sleep. Thank God for it. Before it comes," close quote. He told her to repeat, open quote, "I am relaxed. God's peace fills me. Sleep is coming." She did. Within minutes, her body followed her belief. Faith and relaxation work together. Faith quiets the mind, and a quiet mind invites rest. 10. Relaxation as a daily spiritual practice. Before every meeting, before work, before talking to your family, pause, breathe, relax. Peele said, open quote, "Before you speak, let your heart be still. Then your words will have life." Close quote. When you move from stillness, you move with wisdom. When you speak from calm, you speak with grace. Closing reflection, chapter 13. Open quote, "Peace is power in slow motion." Close quote. So today, relax your shoulders. Unclench your mind. Breathe deeply. Whisper softly. Open quote, "God's calm fills me now." Close quote. Then go through your day with quiet confidence, not hurrying, not forcing, just flowing like a river guided by divine rhythm.